What's going on, people? There's going to be a link in the description down below that'll take you to an article talking over the PS5. Now, there are some key factors here that I did notice because there's a video attached to this that's attached to the article. What did I notice? The one major flaw here, and it's major, it is a key factor within the PS5 being a failure from day one. Day one, this thing can fail. And I know a lot of people, if you haven't watched it, please stop and go watch it. Now, for those of you who did go watch it, did you happen to notice the one biggest flaw in this PS5 idea that they had? It was a standard fucking Blu-ray player. What? I mean, I get it, because they fucked over the PS4 Pro by putting a standard-ass Blu-ray player in that bitch as well. But the PS5 cannot thrive off of a standard-ass Blu-ray player. I mean, what it looked like to me is that they took the ideas of the PS4 and the PS3 and they kind of made them mash together and come up with some bullshit. Because they were also like, it's going to be a touch interface on the front, and there's going to be an ejectable 2 terabyte thing on the back, which 2 terabytes is fine. You can have a standard 2 terabyte hard drive, but it has to be standard. Because the fact that it came out with a whack, lame ass 500 gig hard drive for this generation is mind boggling to me. So 2 terabytes, I'll give them that, but it should be more. However, they also need to launch the PS5 with the ability to use externals. You shouldn't have to wait for that shit for 3 fucking years. It should be, oh, you just bought a PS5, you have a hard drive sitting around, an external, right? Plug that bitch in and get more space. It should be that simple. There shouldn't be no waiting period, Sony. One of the many sins of the PS4. You shouldn't have any of them show up in the PS5 generation. So, let me reiterate here, because I know I just kind of went off for a second, but the fact that this showed a standard Blu-ray player when the Xbox One Slim and the Xbox One X both have the 4K Blu-ray player standard in it, this has got to be the most disappointing thing I've ever seen. The Blu-ray player has got to be 4K. It can't be less than that. Otherwise, Sony, PS5 should be the first all-digital console since your PSP Go. You shouldn't be able to make any kind of media happen other than just all digital, from DVDs to video games, even music. It should be all digital, no nothing else, just all digital, okay? Otherwise, what is the point? Who gives a fuck how many teraflop titties you put in there? Because if you have a standard Blu-ray, which is the weaker format on the market right now between regular standard Blu-ray and 4K, Blu-ray's weak, 4K is stronger. If developers want to make the game and they want to start putting it on them 4K damn discs, and they start doing that and they start looking better on the 4K discs, people are going to go over to Xbox because they're going to look better. Don't do that. Don't undercut yourself. You've already done it once. Don't do it again. So, that's the first thing I noticed. Now they say they're going to have an ejectable 2 terabytes. 2 terabytes is rather small, but I'm used to new generations for some reason coming out with dumbass small hard drives because reasons. But 2 terabytes is like, I guess, okay, considering how long, excuse me, how long it took for PlayStation to get up to a full terabyte. So 2 terabytes, I guess, would be okay. But, like I said, they should be able to have their customer base from day one plug in an external. That shouldn't be a thing. It shouldn't be 3-4 years of waiting. Alright? The touch interface on the front of the console, that doesn't need to happen, because we've all seen what happens when all you gotta do is just barely swipe something on the front of a console. Xbox One, anybody? The VCR model, yeah, that thing you could barely swipe, have a little wind hit it, and it would fuck it up. That doesn't need to happen. That'll be a catastrophe. Let's do things smart here, not stupid. So, if you want stuff like that, make it to where you have to push it. Push a button to activate it. Now, you want LED lights to show off all the shit, that's fine. But make it to where you have to push it and actually touch the damn thing. And you actually have to, press a button. Not some bullshit to where, oh, you just slide your finger, because when touching that shit will fuck it all up. And I can see people right now raging over that. You see what I'm saying? So again, this article kind of says, hey, Sony's acknowledging a PS5. They're saying one's in existence and bullshit like that. But at the same time, they're showing all kinds of fuck shit and all kinds of things that could totally damage a PS5 before it ever launches. Now, one thing they did point out is if they announced one, it won't be until about 2019. Now, if they announce it in 2019, it won't come out till probably the end of 2020, meaning it'll be a 2021 system, meaning come out in 2021. Now, I can buy that. That gives the PS4 Pro enough time to have been on the market for some time. And that makes more sense than, hey, let's Sega ourselves, okay? I've said that several times. Sony is like Sega right now with as much crap that they have on the market. So, I've said it several times. Sony, you don't need to come out with another console so quick. You need to let this thing ride out. And you need to make sure it's been out for a while. I've also been very advocate in saying that maybe you should have pushed the PS4 Pro after E3 and finding out what Xbox was doing. Maybe you should have been like, well, what if we wait about 6 months and make it come out in the middle of the year? I know it's not necessarily ideal, but you could have went back in and you could have tweaked some things, made some things more impressive, maybe turned some heads that were never turned in the first place, but you didn't. And you kind of screwed yourself there. But you got to live with that. But there's no reason to Sega yourself. Alright? So with that being said, again, the link is in the description if you want to go see it for yourself. If you want to go see what this article has to say, feel free. But I do remember at the beginning of this generation, both Sony and Xbox saying that they wanted this generation to last as long as the previous one did, and it's not looking like it's gonna happen. So we'll have to see if they announce it at 2019's E3 or 2020's E3, because depending on when they announce it, it's gonna be about a year or so after that. I don't expect it at this one's, because if they did it at this one's, it'd be like admitting what Sega did back in the day. Admitting they fucked up, and there was never a reason to buy one, and pissing off a lot of their own customers. And I don't think they could afford 2 generations of pissing off that many people. I'll talk to you again later. Deuces.